Well, hello again, and welcome to another episode of the Hyperion Adventures Podcast. I'm Tom. As always, I'm with my gorgeous, super intelligent, hard-working Taste of Epcot International Festival of the Arts. She can actually say that. I will have trouble with it all day.
Oh, yes.
Wife and co-host, Michelle.
Thank you, sweetie. Hi, everybody.
So good to have you with us. We're recording this episode on Sunday, January 10th, 2021. Thank you for joining us today. In the future, you can find us most everywhere you get podcasts. However, the very best place to find us is on our own website, HyperionAdventurespodcast.com. And while you're there,
you will not want to miss signing up for the newsletter.
You will not want to miss signing up for the newsletter. We like to put lots of stuff out there that deals with the Hyperion Adventures world, stuff that we have going on currently, stuff that we have going on in the future, and we always look for some of your input. And some of the first places to find out about that stuff is right there in the newsletter.
Right. And sometimes we share some ultra secret special things just for our newsletter.
Ultra secret.
Ultra secret.
Shh, don't tell anybody.
I know it.
It's ultra secret. We also like connecting with you on social media. We have a lot of fun out on social media with a lot of our Hyperion adventurers, a lot of friends, a lot of family, a lot of other Disney people who do Disney stuff out there.
People.
The Disney-loving people. That's Michelle. She's already, like I said, she's going to get the name of the show right.
No, I don't think
I'm not.
so.
She's going to help us with content because I can't get it out, but she's always here. But please follow us on social media. We're on Twitter at Hyperion Podcast, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest at Hyperion Adventures Podcast. We do have a YouTube channel. Hopefully you're checking out some of these episodes on YouTube. We're pretty much just... it's just these episodes, but we add a lot of photos and other stuff to kind of embellish on what we're talking about during these shows.
Right. I mean, especially in an episode like today where we're going to be talking about food and other things going on at the festival, I think having the supplemental pictures will really help tell the story a little better.
Yeah, we did a lot of stuff last week as well with our Hyperion Adventures Disney Hall of Fame episode, kind of those who got inducted, kind of a lot of pictures of them and some of the circumstances to go along with the sound bites that kind of helped that along. So hopefully you check that out. And if you want to find us on YouTube, just do a search for Hyperion Adventures Podcast, hit subscribe, and you'll know whenever we have a new video. You can check out my new shirt that Santa brought me this year, my new Mickey shirt that Santa brought me this year that I'm wearing today. And then check out my little ponytail again, which is, I don't know why you want to do that, but there's anything I can do to contain this, this quarantine growth that I have on my hair. I haven't been able to get my hair cut in 6 months.
Oh, but you look great. And apparently you were really good last year that Santa brought you some presents.
Yes, Santa was very kind to me. One, just because he has Michelle in my life, brings Michelle to me every day under my tree. And that always makes my life that much more special.
You're so sweet. Likewise.
Thank you. So we also, if you ever want to connect with us for any reason, you can always hit us up at our Gmail account, HyperionAdventuresPodcast@gmail.com.
Right. We love hearing from you. Each week it's fun checking out the emails that we get. And we always want to encourage you if you ever have any questions or if there's anything of interest of you that you'd like us to cover in a future episode, please let us know. We want to make this a podcast you enjoy listening to.
Right. And actually, we will putting something out there for those of you to send in some ideas for us on the email coming up here at the end of the episode. I'll get to that as we get towards the end. Now, another way that we helps us along so very much is we love reviews. Reviews help our show so much. One, because it just helps us grow, helps us know what people are enjoying about our show. But also, there's like this algorithm out there that the more 5-star reviews you get, when people go do a search for, Disney podcast, you're more likely to come up when you've had more reviews. And we happen to get a new review this week, a new 5-star review, which we really appreciate. And so, and when we get them, we like to read them on the air. And here is this week's. It was titled Charming, Entertaining, and Informative. Michelle and Tom are both extremely charming and knowledgeable about all things Disney. Most of the podcast episodes follow a format where there's a deep dive into one topic, and this is a broad range of stuff, but it's all been super interesting. Then they catch us up on Disney news, and then they provide some clutch Disney tips. The deep dives take a lot of research, and you can tell that they put a lot of time, effort, work into this podcast. The news segment always hits the high notes, and Michelle really does have the best tips. As a Disneyland and cruise novice, I find their insights on those topics particularly useful. But even if you're an expert, this podcast will be delightful. Tom and Michelle really are charming, and I'm certain everyone who listens to this podcast will want to be their friend. They also post these episodes over on YouTube with some extra visuals, which I highly recommend you check out. This is a great podcast and definitely worth subscribing to and listening to regularly. And that was from Pixie Dust PhD, aka Jacqueline, Dr. Jacqueline, who has a wonderful YouTube channel of her own that you should check out. Really informative, great stuff. But thank you, Jacqueline, very much.
Kind, how sweet. I'm blushing.
Yeah, that was a very sweet review. So thank you so very much.
That really touches my heart. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's so very nice. So let's get into this week's episode. We have lots of stuff for you this week, including a couple of wonderful offers if you're looking to add a little photo magic to your next Walt Disney World visit. Also, we received Michelle is very photogenic.
No.
You should definitely check her out. Very photogenic.
Not at all.
Also, we received a little confirmation of something that we kind of already expected, but it's coming to the Disneyland Resort, and we'll talk a little bit about that as well. But let's get to our main topic of the week. So yes, this week's main topic is going to be all about let me see if I can get it right, the Taste of Epcot International Festival of the Arts. Normally it's just the Epcot International Festival of the Arts, but with things being as they are now, it's kind of a taste of all these different festivals, and that's what this one is. And we plan to explore, we feel it is the most underrated of all the Disney festivals. I mean, you know about the Food and Wine. That is very popular. The Flower and Garden is maybe our favorite festival overall. There's, of course, the Festival of the Holidays. But we really, really love the Taste of Epcot. Well, we've never seen the Taste of Epcot. The Epcot International Festival of the Arts is really one of our favorites. We love to hit it up every year. And so we're going to kind of discuss that, talk about why we love it, what's great for coming up for this year. And when we do these things, we always go with Michelle because she does such wonderful research. She's fantastic. Look at her. She's gorgeous. She's smart. She's hardworking, but she does the best deep dives into all these subjects. So Michelle, tell us a little bit about the Taste of Epcot International Festival of the Arts.
All right. So we're going to go over a couple things, some things that are new, some of the returning things. I even have some awards for some of the dishes. I know. But to start off, let's just, let everybody know the dates of the festival, which are January 8th through February 22nd. And we're excited that we're going to be there very soon.
Yeah, we actually were supposed to be there today. Originally, we had plans that we would be there today. This was going to be the day we were going to be there. Unfortunately, circumstances that they made, we had to cancel that trip, but we still have a chance to be there at the tail end of it, which we're very excited about. So we will still be able to experience this wonderful festival at the end of near February.
Right. This year, they have a lot of new dishes. I mean, I know each year they add some things here and there, but this year they really went above and beyond to add a lot of new dishes. And we won't take the time to review all of them because it would make this episode.
I was going through that list. There is so much food and drink to explore.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Sure.
So a lot of new things. So, but there are a lot of good returning favorites too. So if you have gone to the festival in the past and there's certain things that you like, there's a good chance they may still be around. And so, but before we get into the food part of the festival, because it also includes art in it, wanted to talk about some of the other activities that they're going to be offering. And again, some of these are repeats from prior years, but they're absolutely fun and you don't want to miss out, even if you've done them in the past. So the first one that I wanted to talk about is the chalk art.
It's a tough one to say.
I was going to say the chart.
Gotta get that L in, a little hidden L in there. Chalk art.
And it is amazing, the artwork that they can produce using chalk on the ground and everything. And it just really is. They are masterpieces. And you really want to make sure you take the time to look at that and really appreciate the work and skill that goes into creating those pieces of art.
Yeah, I saw some because some of our friends out there on social media are already, as it started on the 8th, so it started on Friday. Have already been a chance to get out there. And I think it was the Monday Morning Monorail crew were out there just yesterday on Saturday. And they posted some pictures out there and they showed some shots of some of the chalk art.
Right.
Chalk art, I can say it too. And it was really amazing. It was very interesting to check out. And I just wish I could draw even half as good or do any of this stuff half as good as some of these people because they do some amazing stuff.
I know. The best I can do with chalk art is like stick figures. A heart. I could draw a heart.
Yeah. I can erase. I got very good at having to erase that. You're going to stay after class and erase the chalkboard.
Right.
So I got pretty good at that.
Good.
Yes.
Another favorite thing, we've talked about it in the past, is the paint by number mural. Again, I'm having issues with talking. And that's really fun that you can, we've done it with Disney at the D23 convention where we were painting a mural that eventually ended up at the Children's Hospital. But this one you get to see come to life and it's just amazing. And you just feel like you're really a part of something big because it is a giant mural. And so want to make sure people take that opportunity. It's complimentary this year. So
yeah, a lot of times you have to, they kind of, for donations to kind of help everything along, they kind of ask for a little bit of money, but this year complimentary.
Right,
so
right,
nice.
which is really nice.
Yeah.
So, and it's fun whether you have kids or adults, and it's just a little way to actually have, like I said, part of something big. So it's very cool. This year, the Kid Caught Fun Stops. That's hard to say.
It is hard. There's a lot of these things that are very hard to say, including the title
right?
of the entire festival.
So they've been reimagined for the festival. So that's, if you've done them in the past, this is giving you some fun artistic type of things that you can do, kids or adults. So you want to make sure you're stopping at those areas throughout Epcot and participating in that as well. And then another really great thing that they're bringing back this year, and I'm going to look at my notes so I say it correctly, is the Wonderful Walk of Colorful Cuisine.
Ooh.
And so that is where they have dishes throughout the festival area that have certain colors. And if you think of like an artist palette, right? And so they have different colors. And then if you taste and experience each of these foods, you can get your little card stamped, and then you are rewarded with a delightful artistic palette cookie. So
very nice.
Right.
There's a couple palette cookies, but this is a special one that you get if you finish this one.
Right. It's beautiful and yummy.
Yeah,
And
yummy.
so
We assume.
Right. So like for the color red, they have Remy's Ratatouille. For blue, they have blue corn pupusa. Am I saying that right? Pupusa. Stuffed with cheese and topped with shredded pork.
Yeah, pupusa.
Pupusa, yeah. Green is a pistachio cake with cherry mousse. Pink is a vanilla rose water and pistachio panna cotta, and it is a beautiful. I mean that's a beautiful dish. Yeah, and orange.
Oh, is that the one that looks like a rose?
Yes.
Okay, I've seen the pictures of that one. Right. Yeah.
And then orange is muskochu. Orange cake.
It looks like mouse kochu.
Mouse kochu.
Yeah, because I'm just assuming that maybe it's something else, and that they put a little because it's MOUS at the beginning of
That's
it.
true.
Maybe they made it. Maybe it's muskuchu,
right?
And they made it mouse kochu,
right?
For Mickey. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
No, actually, you're actually probably right because it is a chocolate mousse,
right?
So maybe it is muskuchu. Yeah.
So, anyways, that's a fun activity to do. Just going around and trying those dishes, and then being rewarded with a special free cookie at the end.
Darn. I have to go out and try a bunch of food.
I know.
Get more food. That's difficult.
I know, right? All right. So speaking of food, let's get to it. So most of the things that we'll be talking about today are some of the newer dishes, but we will hit on some of our favorites that are returning as well. But one of the things that right off the bat caught my eye was, and it's at the Refreshment Port at Showcase Plaza, is a lobster poutine, which has lobster bisque cheese sauce, pickled jalapenos, and citrus cream.
Yeah, for the last few years they've been doing a lobster nachos there, which I'll be honest with you, I was not. We tried it out a couple years ago, and I wasn't super impressed with it. You know, we're kind of spoiled over here on the West Coast by the lobster nachos we get out at the
Disneyland.
This was a little too salty. It didn't really hit the mark for me, but that dish looks fantastic. I'm interested to check it out and try it out when we get out there.
Right, exactly. And a couple other new dishes at Pop Eats. They have tomato soup and grilled cheese, or you could also get the tomato soup with the cheese that includes French onions and bacon.
Well, yeah, why wouldn't you?
I know. So that the presentation again throughout the art festival, I think, is also what sets it apart from even some of the other festivals that involve food.
That's the thing. I mean, one thing about food, and you know, I went through culinary school. You know, part of the Disney Dishes blog is that I went through culinary school and learned how to cook, and we spent weeks just on plating, just learning how to plate, learning how to plate decoratively, another word that's tough to say, you know, because it's true. You eat with your eyes first, you know, and so, and that's what comes across in a lot of these plates that they put out there at the Taste of Epcot International Festival of the Arts. Is not only is the food tasty, but it's decorative, it's beautiful. They really try and go to the next level with making it be a very pretty plate. Right.
I know that there's some of them that even when we were there last year, it's like, I don't know if I can eat this. It is just too beautiful, you know, but anyways.
But yeah, I mean, that's one thing you'll discover overall. Not only does the food taste good for the most part. I mean, of course, there's going to be hits, there's going to be misses, just like in any festival, just like anywhere you go. And certain things are going to hit certain people in their palates over, you know, and other people aren't going to like them as much. But when you look at the plating of a lot of these dishes, it's going to look really beautiful to you. Yeah.
Exactly.
Very artistic.
So one of the other dishes, a funny, kind of a little funny, embarrassing story is they did bring back it's called popped art. And I know
which put it together, slow it down, chop it up a little differently, and you'll know what it is.
Except if you do it too fast and you order it and you realize, oh, it's a pop tart.
That's what I'm saying. It's popped art. I mean popped art.
Right. So it was delicious. Don't get me wrong, but if you're really trying to save, you know, whether you're saving your money or your stomach space, that one, it's a Pop-Tart. It's a lovely Pop-Tart.
It's beautiful. It's frosted beautifully, but it is, you know, I mean, it's not, they didn't just unwrap a Pop-Tart, you know, and then frost it more. No. They did make their own, you know, pastry, you know, tart. Pop-Tart. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's pretty. It's great for a picture. I don't know if that's where I spend my money. If I'm there. Personally.
Unless you want, you know, the kids might like that. Yeah, that might be something that they can, you know, certainly identify with.
For sure.
And don't get us wrong. We're big fans of strawberry Pop-Tarts.
Oh yeah. Virtually every time we go, like, because when we get the DVC rooms, we can put stuff in our cabin for breakfast and stuff. And we're always grabbing some breakfast before we head out to the parks, you know, and not paying that extra there. A lot of times Pop-Tarts are one of those things because it's quick and we can just get them together and go. We can even enjoy them for a quick snack when we get back to the room at midday or whatever.
And we never eat them at home. That's the funny. It's kind of like our little treat, you know, that we splurge on those calories and when we're on vacation at Disney World. Yes. So they did bring back two of our favorite dishes from last year, which was the beef Wellington and the pan-seared scallops. And they're beautiful. They're delicious. What's really nice is, yes, they are small plate size, so you can try, you know, so many different varieties of food, but these really hit the spot for us. Yeah,
love that scallop. As a matter of fact, that is one of the dishes I'm thinking about recreating for Disney Dishes blog here coming up in the next couple of weeks. I know she'll be excited about that. It's got all components that I've made a lot of in the past. I just need to put them together decoratively. But the red pepper coulis is really is one of my specialties, and it really does make that dish, and the perfectly seared scallop as well.
Exactly. And, you know, ever since the time that we had scallops at Disney California Adventure, I always want to have some kind of a Disney wine a Disney white wine, whether it be one of Fess Parker Winery or Kurt Russell Gogi Winery wines, to just pair it up. It's just awesome.
It's just perfect.
It's
a perfect pairing.
It is perfect. So let's get on to some other new dishes. And they have, and I hope I pronounce the location correctly, it's Vibrant and Vivido Food Studios, which is located between Morocco and France. They have a new dish. It's chilled seafood cocktail that has octopus, scallops, shrimps, black garlic aioli, tomato coconut sauce, and serrano lime oil.
That sounds like a all over the place flavor profile. Right. But that sounds like it's going to go together wonderfully. But it's going to dance in your mouth when you take bites.
Right.
Of it. So I'm excited to try.
I know. I just can't believe the variety of it. I do like that they're bold and having,
especially once it gets warmer out there. That's something it's like a chilled seafood cocktail out there. It's going to seem really nice.
Yeah. So. Another new dish, but it's near and dear to our hearts. One, because of where it's associated with, but also because it's featured on the Disney Dishes blog, and is the Remy's Ratatouille with eggplant, zucchini, yellow squash, tomatoes, and red pepper. What is it? Pepper. Thank you. It is a plant-based dish, but you've already given this recipe way in advance. You give great directions. Check out the Disney Dishes blog for this ratatouille. It's delicious. It's beautiful, and if you don't make it for yourself, you can try it at the festival.
Yeah, it is actually one of the more popular dishes, recipes that I've put together on the Disney Dishes blog is for the Remy's Ratatouille.
Right.
So if you ever thought about recreating that in your own home, go check out Disney Dishes blog and just do a search for it. It'll come right up for you.
Right. I'm glad that they included it this year. It just makes sense, especially where the ride in the France Pavilion is going to be opening this year. It's certainly a great way to kick it off and, bring that story to light in the festival as well.
For those of you that subscribe to the newsletter, that will be our recipe of the week, by the way, since I don't have a new one for this week. And sometimes I bring in classic ones. I'll put that one out there since it does kind of tie into what's going on at the Taste of Epcot International Festival of the Arts. So
good. I'm just going to turn that over to you to say every time because you do a great job.
If you want to check it out there, that's another way to do it by subscribing to the newsletter. Again, those newsletter usually comes out somewhere around midday on Tuesdays.
Right.
So.
Cool. So another new dish that I thought was bold, and I like that they have a plant-based version of it as well, is, and it's at the Painter's Palette location, is the prime steak tartare with pickled vegetables, parsley salad, béarnaise anglaise, and sous vide quail egg. I know. And they have a plant-based salt-roasted beet tartare.
Beet tartare, not beef tartare.
Right.
Beet.
Tartare
yes.
with pickled vegetables, the parsley salad, and the béarnaise aioli as well. So I thought that was a really nice, bold choice again to have that, and that's definitely up in my wheelhouse of what I love.
It'll be interesting to try them both because we like both, to check them out and see how they compare. Obviously, we know what a beef tartare is and how that flavor profile is. How does the beet tartare compare to it, and I'm sure it'll be a wonderful dish whether you like beef or whether not, but how close is it in comparison?
Right. And I was surprised though, I guess, and maybe you could talk on this a little bit more, that they had pickled vegetables with the beef tartare, because I don't know that I would have necessarily
a lot of times, beef tartare is, it's raw beef, really, but it's also, there's a little pickling that goes on with it that gives it a little bit of a cook. There is a little bit of a cooked part to it. That's why it's okay to eat,
right?
Because there is a little small cooking process that goes with it when you mix it with some vinegars and some other things, and then serve it up there. And so that makes sense that the pickled vegetables will go there. Also, with a pickled vegetable, you're getting some acid in there that will help contrast the richness that you might get from the beef itself.
True.
So it's just a way to kind of to break that up, so that acid to break things up, so it just doesn't hit you as this completely rich dish.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Very good. Cool. Boy, you're so smart.
Yeah.
See, I knew this would be a good one to ask you about. So there are a lot, as we mentioned early on, as you mentioned early on, of new and returning beverages. And I really didn't want to spend too much time talking about that. They have a lot of different beers and different types of wines that you can get either individually or as flights. So there's a lot of great things to that. But the one I think that really stuck out with me that was just kind of quirky and cute was this, and again, another hard one to say, is Kali Motuxo.
Oh, wow, I don't know. I'm looking at it right now. Kali Moksho. I would say that's kind of a show.
Okay.
So Kali Moksho.
And so it's a red wine cocktail with Pibb Extra.
Sound like Mr. Pibb?
Yes. So wine and Mr. Pibb.
I don't know if I'm going to try that.
I actually think I want to try it here at home.
Not me. But Michelle can be the guinea pig for it. Yes.
So thought that was pretty cool. A returning favorite, though, is the trio of macaroons in the French Pavilion, and the assortment comes in a little gift box. And if you ever want to recreate something that you would commonly be able to experience in Paris, is getting those macaroons, getting either a glass of champagne or un café, which is like an espresso coffee, or even just American coffee, and sitting down and enjoying that combination while people watching. You will be transformed back into Paris.
Yeah, it can feel that way, especially in the obviously in the Paris Pavilion. There, it can very often, if you can find a spot, whether it be the trash can table or hopefully a place to sit down somewhere. Maybe it's more likely now since the capacity is lower than it would normally be. We haven't been, in a while, so we haven't been able to see what the chances to sit there would be like. But it is a nice place. I mean, we're all about people watching when we go to Disney, especially to Epcot. We love to just sit and people watch while we're there and enjoy some, especially when these festivals are going on, enjoy some of these wonderful dishes and cocktails and drinks that they put out there. Yeah.
I mean, it's a fun place to people watch. One, you can observe people as they're seeing some of the entertainment going on. You can watch the entertainment, but just to watch people having such a great time and being in a very fun atmosphere, it's great to do. And it's an experience you don't always get to do many other places.
Right.
So
very cool.
Yeah. All right. So to kind of wrap things up, like I mentioned at the beginning, I do have some awards. I have 3 awards. 2 are going to be going to new dishes, and 1 will be for a returning dish.
We have awards.
Awards. So to start off, for the most exquisite elements dish is the lobster ravioli with vanilla saffron cream and shredded chili peppers. And that's served up at the L'Art de Manger. It's really Italian. Mangiare in the Italian Pavilion. Mangiare. Art of eating. And that's a dish that has really some great rich ingredients. And I'm really hoping that this is one that will soon end up either in Disney Dishes blog or at least on our dining table. Because one, ravioli is great. You do an amazing job making your own homemade ravioli, throwing in there some really, as I mentioned, exquisite ingredients: lobster, vanilla, saffron, and then balancing it off with those chili peppers, shredded chili pepper what do you call those?
Straws.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty dish. That's gonna be a tricky dish to put together, but I may give it a shot. Yeah, for sure.
I have no doubt you will be.
Beautiful dish. The flavor profile is very interesting to me.
Yeah.
Vanilla saffron, very fascinating.
I know, and I know you have saffron in the cabinet.
We happen to have saffron around. We put it in a safe because it's so expensive. Yes.
So, and now the award for the most artistic dish can be found at the Japan Pavilion. It is called the Stone Garden. It has red bean mousse with chocolate rocks and rice cracker pebbles. And it really does look like a Japanese rock garden.
Yeah, like the Serenity Gardens that you can like rake, to kind of just calm your mind and everything.
And that you see there in the pavilion.
Yeah, they have one usually there at the pavilion as well. Yeah.
Yeah. That really was such creativity in a visual display of food. Plus, it does sound delicious as well. But I thought that had to be really recognized for the artistic nature.
It is pretty.
Of it.
It is a pretty picture. Well, again, if you see the YouTube, we'll have the picture up, or you can also go to Disney Parks blog. They have them there as well.
On the foodie guide.
The foodie guide, yes.
And lastly, for best returning item is the sushi donut.
Yeah, big fan of the sushi donut.
I know.
Want all the sushi donuts.
So it's a donut-shaped sushi that features salmon, tuna, shrimp, cucumber, sesame seed over a decorative plate of wasabi, aioli, sriracha, and eel sauce. Yeah. And I know the first time we saw it, we were like, at least for me, I was a little hesitant. I didn't know, what is this? It looks pretty, but it looks different.
Yeah, well, when we were there, it had just debuted. We were there a couple years ago in January, and it had just debuted. And we're like, wow, let's get that. It looks pretty for a picture. Let's try it out. We like sushi, anything, but it looked more like it's better for a picture than it actually is.
Right.
And then we actually tried it. And it was wonderful. It was fantastic. And I don't know what the price is this year. I know the prices have gone up a little bit this year, partially because Disney is scuffling to, make do with what's going on in the world right now. But for the price, it was a really good value. And like I said, it was delicious. It's one of those things like I'm so excited to have. If we had been there today like we had planned, I would have already had at least one sushi donut, if not a couple, because it is awesome.
Right. I remember the first time we got it, because we've since then we've gotten it there other times too. But that very first time, the year that it debuted, we thought, all right, let's get one. We'll try it out and kind of share it. And then it was like, oh, let's get more.
Yes.
No more sharing.
Yes. It is so good. It is very pretty as well. Again, as most of this food is, I talked about the art aspect of this food. It's a very pretty plate, but it's delicious. Absolutely stunning and wonderful.
Right. So I know we just went over a few. I think I tried to keep it to a reasonable amount, so we're just not talking food. But there are so many other new dishes. I was, again, really blown away by the amount of new dishes that they've put out to offer during this festival. I think it's great to be able to try different things. It is fun to have some of those favorites that you go back to. But again, if you're going to these festivals, you do want to try to be able to experiment and experience different dishes and different tastes. And I'm so thrilled that they have an amazing, I think I only hit like about a third.
Right. I don't even know if you hit
the new dishes.
Oh, of the new dishes, yeah. We really didn't hit everything. As you can tell, one of our favorite things about all these festivals, but especially the Festival of the Arts, is the food.
Right.
Because that's what we went over through. But there are some other things. I did some research myself.
Yeah, bravo.
Actually, I just went to Disney Parks blog and looked this stuff up. But that's my form of research. So I have a couple other things that are going on that aren't necessarily food related that are happening along with the Taste of Epcot International Festival of the Arts that you may be looking forward to if you're heading out there. Yes. And some of the stuff that we kind of enjoy when we get to go. And by the way, there's a lot of things that aren't going to happen this year that normally happen. Like there's concerts out there. Sometimes Broadway performers come out. Disney Disney Broadway performers come out there and do shows. Like I said, concerts, all sorts of stuff that goes out, all sorts of performances.
Right.
It's a great way. One of the things about the Epcot International Festival of the Arts is there are so many artists that show up there to show their wares and also sell them, but it's also they are there either painting or there to discuss their work, and so you get to connect with them, find out more about them. It's one of the best things about it, one of the things that we really enjoy about going.
Right. I mean, the vendor areas are really, you think, oh, it's just more shops or whatever, but really, like you're saying, you could actually be just having a conversation with the actual artist and be able to get some further details about what they've done, what they have on display, and their story. And it's always really interesting.
Yeah, it's really great. It's one of the few places you can get up close and personal with some of these people that are creating these great works of art that you may want to have hanging in your home, or even not, just to appreciate them as you go around, and that's fine as well. So here are a few more things that are going on for the Taste of Epcot International Festival of the Arts this year to kind of fill in some of these gaps that we're not going to get as we would at a normal arts festival time. So for one thing, the Voices of Liberty are going to be at the American Gardens Theater stage with they have a brand new showcase of the Disney Songbook featuring Disney tunes and all sorts of things to kind of celebrate Disney composers. And who doesn't love the Voices of Liberty? They're so fantastic.
Awesome. Yes.
Yeah, so that's great. Also, performance artists will rotate throughout the festival in World Showplace, including thrilling feats of strength, art defying gravity, a pianist playing favorite Disney songs, a high energy onstage performance by a guest artist who paints Disney characters in only a matter of minutes. So lots of fun stuff that you may just stumble across. Right. They're not going to probably schedule these anywhere, so people don't gather at this time. But as you're, cruising around World Showcase, you never know what you might stumble across and be interested in out there.
Which is another fun thing. Even when like if you do know if there is a scheduled something, if you're really not paying attention, you just happen upon an activity. It's like, wow, this is a cool treat.
Right. That's some of the best stuff. Also, very popular, the Jaminators will be back on the Mill stage near the Canada Pavilion doing their stuff. And everybody loves the Jaminators. It's a great time to just stop and take a moment and enjoy the stuff they're doing out there. So that's always cool. Also, there's some things that, one of the great things is that they do some things that kind of involve you, that get you involved in art as well. The Animation Academy is going to be taking place at the American Gardens Theater in between when the Voices of Liberty are there, apparently. And they'll be showing you step by step on how to draw some of your favorite Disney characters. One of our favorite things to do at Disney California Adventure Park as well. That's always fun. You talked about the paint by number mural. There's places that there are lots of great photo opportunities throughout the Arts Festival, including places where you can kind of step into magical works of art. So it'll be like this giant painting, and then you step into it and you're part of this painting and someone takes your photo there, which is always kind of cool.
I know, it's fun that you can either do it as a selfie, or somebody in your party can take a picture, or you can use you can have the Disney photo folks get your whole group in there. And they have some really interesting pieces of art this year that they're including throughout the areas that you can get pictures of.
Yeah, so that's always a lot of fun as well. They have a spin art, which is going on there, where you can take your favorite colors and spin it, and it makes this cool splatter type fun photo
always loved
pictures.
Those things as a kid.
And also they have this thing that's called Figment's Brush with the Masters. It's where you help Figment, who is, who doesn't love Figment? I mean, let's be serious. Figment is the best. Having help Figment learn more about art in a family-friendly scavenger hunt around World Showcase. Now, this does cost a little bit extra, but it's good fun way to maybe get the kids involved in doing some stuff. And, our favorite purple dragon, involved with it. That's got to be great. So what you do is you go to a gift shop, you purchase a map and stickers, and then you look for Figment hiding around the famous works of art that you'll see throughout World Showcase in each pavilion. And once you find them all, you go back to the Disney traders and they give you an artful surprise. You get a little reward for doing the whole scavenger hunt.
Right. And the scavenger hunts are fun. And they're not necessarily easy. I know when we've done the Easter egg ones, it was like we were struggling with some
sometimes
of them.
They're not exactly right. It's not like they just put them right there in front of you. Well, sometimes they do. Yes. But there's some of them that you really have to look for.
So that makes it fun as well. Yes, and they also have in the France Pavilion where they have these areas that they have. They really showcase the artistry from original operas and old movies in France, cinema and theater and stuff. So a lot of different forms of art are being featured.
Yeah. So all these are reasons why we feel this is such an underrated festival, because of the activities, because of the way you can just appreciate the art, talk with the artist, step into the art yourself, get these great photos taken. The food is spectacular and beautiful. And it's also just such a great time of year. If you're planning in the future, I mean, maybe you can't make it out this year. It's kind of short notice if you're going to be able to make it out this year. But if you're planning in the future, this time right after, the holidays, the weather tends to be pretty nice. Sometimes it can actually be a little chilly, but it tends to be, you're not going to run into the 95 degree weather, days as, out. You never know with Florida, but it's unlikely.
Right.
So you get pretty good weather to kind of experience this whole thing. And then the crowds are usually down a little bit because everybody's been out there for the holidays or whatever.
School's back in session.
Right. So it's kind of a nice time to just be at the Walt Disney World Resort, because and then you get this wonderful, festival that happens that you can just take in and stroll through and enjoy. And that is why it's one of our favorite festivals and what we consider the most underrated of them.
Exactly. Well said. So what's the one dish that you're looking forward to? Like, this is a must-have.
The sushi donut. I'm telling you, I love the sushi donut. One, because I can't get it anywhere else.
Right.
I thought about trying to make it at home, but I'm like, no, I can't. That's just too many different types of fish and everything to get in and everything. But I love that. But I mean, there's lots of stuff.
Was a new dish that kind of called out to you?
I want to try that seafood cocktail that you were talking about with the octopus and everything. That sounds really bright and refreshing and lovely. I love the scallop with the red pepper coulis. We're going to try and recreate here to kind of to get us through till we can get there. There's several. I mean, really, I could go down the whole list.
Yeah, they had a rack of lamb that looked really...
The Wellington's always good.
Right,
yes. I always enjoy that. So what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like you're saying, a lot of some of our favorites for sure. And I, obviously, of the two that I gave awards to for the new dishes, I really want to try those. Looking forward to those. I just think that it's one of those experiences that just being there, I'm looking forward to, but
so much.
I know. But yeah, I guess if I could only have one in being a new dish, it would probably be the lobster ravioli.
Nice.
Because that just calls out.
Does call out to you. Does have all the things that you love: lobster, ravioli.
Yes,
saffron,
vanilla.
Yeah,
I know.
It does speak to Michelle in so many ways. So many ways. So that's great. Great research, sweetheart.
Thank you. Likewise.
Really good job.
Additions.
And we'd love to know more about what you think of the Epcot International Festival of the Arts. If you've been out there this year, let us know what you think of some of these dishes and what you're enjoying. If you have some tips for us for when we get out there. You sounded like that dish would be good, but it wasn't as much. Or with this dish, we didn't think it would be great, but when we sampled it, it is excellent. We really want to know some more about that. So please hit us up. As a matter of fact, we did get some input this week from one of our listeners. I put it out there on the newsletter this week that we were doing this topic. And if anybody had any experiences with the Epcot International Festival of the Arts, let us know what you really enjoy about it. And we did get one person who emailed us back, and that is Sarah Grace Kaiser. Who helps us out so many times with listener input. She always has some great things to say. She said, "Dear Tom and Michelle, I love the Festival of the Arts. I love how our favorite purple dragon is the star."
Right.
We love that too. "I also love how bright and colorful everything looks. And I really like the concerts as well. I also love the giant canvases you get to step into. Those are those works of art we were talking about." She went on to say, "A very magical new year to you all. A bit late. I hope you're all doing well. And please tell Scott I said hello, and I will answer you for him." He said, "Hello."
That's exactly how he says it. You do it very well.
So thank you, Sarah Grace.
Yes.
Sarah Grace, please let us know. But we appreciate your input whenever you chime in.
Definitely. So. Glad to have you as a subscriber to the newsletter.
Yes,
too,
for sure. So we're excited. We can't wait to get out there. It's going to be, unfortunately, at the tail end of the Taste of Epcot International Festival of the Arts, but we're very excited about it. We hope for all of you who are getting a chance to get out there there and enjoy it this year, that it is a wonderful experience for you. And for those of you who have never been, we highly, highly recommend it. The Food and Wine Festival is great.
Right.
The Flower and Garden Festival, again, if you were to pin us down, that would probably be our favorite festival.
Right.
And we do have a trip right now on the books.
Yep.
We're planning to go experience that possibly in April at some point. We do. That is our plan for this moment. But definitely underrated, definitely an experience that every Disney fan, every Epcot fan, every festival fan should explore, is the Epcot International Festival of the Arts.
Yes, I totally agree. It really covers so much, whether it's activities, experiences, shows, foods. It captures it all. And I think a lot of people really think it's just food, and they don't necessarily go try it out, but we can only highly recommend it.
Yeah, definitely. So again, if you have any input on us, for us about your experience with either the Epcot International Festival of the Arts or this year's Taste of the Epcot International Festival of the Arts, please hit us up on social media or through our Gmail account, because we'd love to hear from you. And thanks again, Michelle, for all the great research.
Well, thank you. You did some really great research too. Kudos.
Again, go to the Disney Parks blog, look it up, copy and paste my research. Again, and that is our look at the Taste of Epcot International Festival of the Arts, Disney's most underrated festival. So, man, I am so excited for when we finally get to get out there and experience the Festival of the Arts again. It's wonderful, magical, and like I said, I'm glad that our vacation that we have planned for February is still going to fall within that window, so we do get to experience it this year.
Right. Yes, and originally that's all we thought we were going to have. The January was kind of added, and anyways, long story.
Before we get to our Disney stories of the week, I just wanted to discuss one thing, and that is, I meant to bring this up before we got into our main topic, but I forgot because, it's me. But Michelle did get the vaccine this week, and I think it's important for her to kind of discuss her journey as we go along, because she's been lucky enough as being part of the medical industry where, she is right there out front dealing with a lot of this often. She has been one of the first to get the vaccine. And so why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about your experience getting the shot? You got it on Friday, correct?
Right. So the clinic that I worked at started giving it out on Wednesday. Our sister hospitals started, a couple weeks ago, but it was now deployed to our clinics. And it's really interesting. I mean, holding that vial, and everybody, all the staff that works with me, everybody recognized the importance of that. And really, I mean, we joked about calling it liquid gold, but everybody, I mean, I even had some really dear nursing staff come to me and say, there's a little bit left in this vial and a little bit left in this vial. I know I can make a full dose if I combine it. And that is not recommended by the manufacturer. We did have one vial that had an extra dose on one of the days.
So these vials, they have a amount. It's not just each vial has one dose in it. There's multiple doses in each one.
It has 10. It has 10 doses in the Moderna vial. And so the other thing that is really historic is the amount of, regulations in terms of monitoring it, but also in terms of knowing so many people want this. And right now, we're in the, first tier of this, to get to the end of the day and say, have we used up every single vial? And that's why I ended up not getting it until Friday, because
originally you were going to try and do it on Wednesday.
Right. But I was one of the standbys each day in case we needed to have, if we had an extra dose at the end, myself, and we had like a wait list for that. But on Friday I did get it. And it was interesting. I mean, there's a lot of emotion tied to it. It's something so historical in nature. Seeing how the research community can come together throughout the world, be transparent, share information to really expedite a process that would normally take so much longer. But there's also concerns and fear for
Sure.
something that is new and trying something out. So it was one of those, okay, I got to do it. So, even though I'm nervous.
Well, I'm proud of you that you got it done.
Thank you.
Now, what was your experience? You got how difficult was it to get it, and what were your feelings directly afterwards?
So when I first got it, it was a breeze, and I'm not saying I have a high tolerance to pain, normally, like when I'm getting an injection or flu shot or whatever, I try to put it in an arm that I'm using a lot so it'll disperse it through the muscle quicker and stuff like that. This one was painful.
Not when you got the shot.
Not when I got the shot. Yeah. But after a while it was painful. But it was kind of a weird muscle ache. It was, positional. So you could find a position a lot of times, at least from my experience, that it wasn't painful, but, Tylenol didn't really help.
It's a painful one.
And the first day I felt run down. I mean, some of that could have just been with.
You had a tough week.
It was a tough week getting. There was a lot of things that we at the last minute, our organization really fine-tuned on how to implement it, and so getting some of that last minute work together was, definitely. Exhausting at times, but for a good reason.
Right.
And so I don't know if I was just worn out, if I was just relieved that it was finally done, and it was just like, or if it really did affect me and make me feel, a little tired.
Could have been a combination of things. You haven't slept well all week because of some of the stuff you've had to deal with your work, and then that night, you did have some pain in your arm, so you
roll
didn't,
over and
wake up. So you didn't sleep particularly well. So that could have been reason for some of the fatigue. Now we are 2 days after this. So yesterday you had some pain. Right. How are you feeling today?
A lot better. I mean, a mild pain, not enough that I feel like I need to take any medication for anything. And I feel good, like I don't feel tired out. Oh, wait, I do. You need to still bring me everything. I need you to bring me everything I need.
You got it. I will, of course, as I always do.
But I feel good. I feel fine.
Good.
So it'll be interesting to see the second dose, and because I think I'm hearing a range of things of people's experience of getting the second dose. So we'll see.
Yeah. So she got the first dose on Friday, and then it's 4 more weeks until you get the second dose.
Minimum of 4 weeks. You can go out a little further than that too, but. Yep.
So sounds like what it is you get it, and it's painful for about a day, and then it starts to subside, and you're okay afterwards, at least from that's your experience so far.
Exactly.
So that's kind of, I just wanted to get it out there so people can know what to expect, and when it's time for them to get because they, gradually we're all going to start to be able to have the ability to get it if you so decide, and you should, go out there. I mean, it's a decision you should make for yourself. I'm not going to tell you what to do.
Right.
But it's really important for us to kind of, especially when we're hearing about some of the things that are going on out there right now. Let's try and cut this thing.
Especially with the one that's even more easily transmitted.
Right. The new
strains and stuff. So,
So it's, I think information's important. Since we have someone here that's going through the experience, I thought it would be good for you to know what's going on. So,
thank you. Yeah.
Michelle, I'm very proud of you.
Oh, well, thank you. I know a lot of people who had, seem to have an even easier time, but
Very good. Very good. So I just wanted to get through that really quickly. But we are going to get to the Disney stories of the week. And I only have a couple for you this week. But we're going to start with, if you're looking for have a ton of photos taken on your next trip to the Walt Disney World Resort, well, we have some good news for you because they've got a cool thing going on.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell.
It's actually a couple cool things going on. This from the Disney Parks blog. They said they're excited to share that Disney PhotoPass service has introduced 2 incredible offers that make it easier than ever to download your photos and videos. You can now take advantage of a couple limited time offers on Memory Maker and Memory Maker One Day. More memories, same prices is what they say. So what the deals are is if you purchase Disney PhotoPass with Memory Maker, you can now activate your Memory Maker through May 19th of 2021 and download all your photos and videos captured through June 18th 2021. Normally, you only have 30 days to get those photos once you've done this, if you're not like an annual pass holder or something like that. So this gives you more time that you can kind of decide on those photos. That, you know, if you get a bunch of them taken, some of them are going to be obvious. Oh yeah, I want to download that photo. I want to download that photo. Something you might want to run it by some friends, some family members. Do you like this? You know, and check it out. And you may want to get those memories later on. So this gives you that much more time to be able to get those photos that you've taken throughout the parks, like we were talking about at the Taste of Epcot International Festival of the Arts today. So anyway, this offers a great way to download and share memories from your visit, from attraction photos and magic shots featuring favorite characters to super zoom magic shots, which we haven't tried yet, but those look so cool. Yes. I want to try one of those sometime soon. You can also get all the virtual backdrops at the Disney Photo Pass Studio, Disney Springs. So there's so many ways to take advantage of that. So we really recommend it, especially if you don't take regular trips to the Walt Disney World resorts. And this is a special occasion. If you're bringing family in or whatever, take advantage of that Memory Maker and the Photo Pass options, because there really are some great things that you're going to want to remember your trip by using.
Oh, most definitely. And it's fun that, it kind of takes the hassle away that you have somebody else who's actually taking the picture. Everybody can be in the photo, or if you're, spending a day alone in the park, which is fun too. We've done that. It's fun just to know that, okay, I don't have to just have all selfies. I can have, some really nice photos as well, and fun to have those to share with people or to keep for yourself for memories.
Right. And you never know, because these photographers, I mean, they're all around you when you're in these parks. There are these hidden characters.
Some have magic in their cameras
that you don't necessarily see, but these magic cameras that these photographers, these PhotoPass photographers have, they have a way of pulling them out, and you experience that these magic things and these magic characters that you may not see will just appear on your photos.
Right.
So, definitely want to take advantage of that.
Yeah, that was one of our tips one time.
Yeah, I know. That's why I brought it up.
Very good.
Yes, one of Michelle's tips, because she always has the best tips. There's another offer as well. If you now have the chance to get 2 full days of Disney PhotoPass photos and videos for the price of 1. If you activate Memory Maker 1 day, so if you're just doing this for one, you're just like, this is going to be the day. We're going to take a lot of pictures. We're just going to pay for the 1 day, the Memory Maker for 1 day. If you activate it now through March 11th of 2021, to download your PhotoPass photos and videos from the day of your choice, you get to receive the second consecutive day for no additional cost. So you can get it for 2 days, back-to-back days. So you can kind of plot it out. It's like, not only are we going to have this one photo day, we can get all these photos taken. We can get photos taken at the Taste of Epcot International Festival of the Arts. And then we can get all these photos taken at Magic Kingdom or Disney's Animal Kingdom Park or Disney's Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
So
that
is a great deal for those of you who don't have didn't buy the PhotoPass Memory Maker option with your entire ticket package, or with you don't have an annual pass that has that option, but you do want to get some of those photos. That's a great thing that you're going to get to 2 days for the price of 1.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, so that's really cool news. So definitely take advantage. We highly recommend it. I know it's extra money, and some people will judge whether or not it's worthy of that price. I think especially for if you're only going once a year or once every few years, take advantage and get those photos, because they are wonderful mementos of your trip.
Yeah, I mean, and then you can also, like, if you really want to kind of have fun with them, there's, you could have them placed on items, whether it be like T-shirts or coffee
that's
cups.
More money. That's not doesn't count with the photo.
Right, it's not included, but they make it so easy that if there is something that you truly like and you want to have it as a memento or give it as a gift for somebody who was there with you, it's so easy.
Start working on your Christmas cards now.
Exactly.
There you go. And by the way, I think it's going to be interesting this year because, people are like, but it's going to be all of us wearing masks and everything. And I'm like, I think it's going to be fascinating to look back at the pictures we take during this time, some 5-10 years down the road, and reflect of like, what a crazy time that was, when we all had to wear masks but we made it through it. And, and we still had a great time. So, just, interesting mementos. So.
Exactly.
Just one more really, really quick news story for you, and that is that it came as no surprise to us, but Disney confirmed this week that Avengers Campus at Disney's California Adventure Park will be open this year.
Yeah.
That's assuming Disneyland will be open this year, but we know at some point it's going to reopen. So this story came as part of the D23 email that they send out regularly, kind of going through what D23 has going on, what Disney has going on or whatever. And one of the things they had was a look at, some of the things that they're looking forward to in 2021. And it was just a quick blurb in there. And one of the things they were looking forward to opening in 2021 was Avengers Campus at Disney California Adventure Park. So that's really exciting. I know we're just looking forward to Disneyland being reopened. But we're really looking forward to checking out this brand new Marvel land that was supposed to have been open this last summer, but we're excited for when we finally get to experience it.
Right. I mean, I know we talked about the new attraction that's going to be coming, but just, some of the other, food, it always goes back to the food.
Always goes back to food with us.
And the microbrewery and things. I mean, just fun things that, add another element of immersion into the Marvel side of the world.
That audio animatronic, that crazy audio animatronic that they displayed out there, that was going to be like Spider-Man flying through the air. I cannot wait to experience that.
It's almost like a little creepy looking at it. I mean, in a good way, but it's like, ooh,
it's so cool. It's like the next level audio animatronic for sure. So very exciting stuff. So that's it for the Disney stories of the week. However, we never leave you without giving you some sort of tip that might help you on your next vacation. And we always start with Michelle. One, because she's brave, smart, beautiful, just plain wonderful. But she always has the very best tip. So let's get right to it. Here is Michelle's tip of the week.
You're going to probably regret saying that build up, because this tip is really small in the concept of it. But, I was thinking when I was thinking about what to do, and I always like to tie it in with something. So I'm tying it in with the food, is that it's something that's simple, but it could really help make or break some things about your experience. And that is, when you go to the park, bring some extra Ziploc bags or, closing bags. You don't have to use the Ziploc brand, and preferably, larger ones, because then you have a little bit more flexibility. So, certainly if you're traveling with kids, it's a great way to, if something suddenly you don't have a trash can near you, you're in line, for one of the rides and you want to have some place to put this, you can have that easily. But there's a lot of other great things. One, you could, if there's some food you didn't finish, you can have it to take back home or to your resort. It's a great way to protect your electronics if it's a rainy day in Florida, and
never rains in Florida.
I know. That's Southern California,
Yeah, that's for sure.
Or just, like I said, it's one of these things you don't think about, you don't think much about it, but if the day comes and you have it there in your backpack or your bag, it can be a real convenience. And it's a simple thought, but even for the most experienced traveler, it's one that you could really find beneficial to have on you during that time.
Yeah, it doesn't take up a lot of space in your bag, in your backpack, whatever it is you're carrying through the parks, but it will help you immensely and for various different situations. I mean, like going through, like we talked about, all this great food.
Right.
At some point, you're going to start to not be as hungry anymore. Right. You want to try a couple bites of something, but I'll just put this in the bag, take it back to the room, and I'll have it a little later this evening, or a late night snack, or something in the morning, or whatever it might be.
Right.
It's really important stuff. So.
It
is a great tip. Michelle's tip is always the very best tips, for sure. So my tip this week, I'm going to go back to the PhotoPass experience and something else you can kind of add on to that. And of course, like we talked about, the PhotoPass and the Memory Maker and all that, they're great things. But let's just say you're having a really, really super special occasion, like, you're getting engaged, you're having an anniversary, a family reunion, a special birthday, your kid's first trip to the park. Maybe you want to get that captured even more specially with photos. And there's a great way to do that. And that's with the Capture Your Magic Disney Parks PhotoPass experience. This takes place at Magic Kingdom Park, which is probably the most photogenic of the
Right.
parks. And what it does is it's not free, but if you for $50 you get 20 minutes with your own photographer, and he'll just snap away pictures. One in front of Cinderella Castle,
Right.
And you can continue on with that if you want. You can do more. You can add on. You have
Right.
to do this in advance, but you can add more than that. If you want 40 minutes and get another location somewhere within the park, it's another $50
Right.
for every 20 minutes you add on. But it's a great way, like I said, to kind of really get that personalized attention,
Right.
really get these wonderful photos. No, you don't have to wait in line
Yeah, I
or
was
anything.
just gonna say that, right.
At some of these wonderful spots. I'm not saying you should do this every trip,
Right.
but if there's that certain special trip that you're on that you really want to get these excellent photos, $50 does not seem that extreme. I mean, you still have to pay for the photos.
Right.
So you're either paying for the photos just out of hand or buying the photo pass service, Memory Maker, or you have an annual pass that
Right.
has that on there. So otherwise you'll still have to pay on the photos on top of that. But it's just that personalized experience that you get with the photographer.
Right. I mean, again, like you mentioned, if it's a special occasion, you really want to be able to have those memories of it and have it in the easiest way. And you're not standing in, line after line after line to capture those great shots that they can arrange for you. It saves you some time from standing in line. And, it just, again, that personalized service. And yes, it's a chunk of money for sure. But there are times that, that you might say, gee, I wish we had done something like that. I wish we had captured that way, or, and especially if you have kids, for them to, keep bringing them to a line to get a picture. If you're, get this done rapidly and, within a half an hour, you're finished and you got a lot of variety, it really makes it easier for them, and they're going to come out looking better in the pictures as well. So.
Right. Plus, these Disney PhotoPass photographers are great at getting you posed well and getting these great shots and putting it together and getting the whole crew in there into if you have a big family reunion or something. But even if it's your honeymoon or again engagement or whatever, it's just a great way to kind of get that experience and make sure it's captured really, really well.
Exactly.
So,
great tip.
Thank you. By the way, advanced reservations are suggested for this. It's not required, but they are suggested, especially if you're going to do multiples. Like, you can't just finish your 20 minutes and say, I want 20 minutes more.
Right.
You have to kind of order that in advance. But there is a chance that you might be able to get a walk up. You can just go in there and check and see. But if you really want to do this, I would suggest you just reserving it in advance.
Exactly. Makes
sense. And of course, you will also need park admission and right now a park reservation with the Park Pass system if you are planning on doing this. So that's it for this week. Now, I mentioned this earlier that we're going to be putting out requests for something. We were going to hit us up through the email or on social media this week. And that's because next week, we expected originally next week's episode was going to be our trip recap from our trip to the Walt Disney World Resort and the Taste of Epcot International Festival of the Arts. But now we have a big gap in our calendar.
I mean, we do have a backup, too.
We do have a backup, but I have another idea of something that I want to do here, and that is because we have not done a music episode in a long time. Well, not a long time, but it's been a little while. One of our 5 favorite music lists, 5 favorite blank songs,
Yeah.
And we want, some suggestions of what you'd like to hear. Now, in the past, we've done the Disney songs that made us cry, inspirational songs, dance party songs, love songs, attraction songs, I want songs. What should we do next? What would you like to hear us do?
We've done the villain songs too.
Oh, yes. Yes, we did villain songs. That's right. Thank you very much. I forgot that one. Yes, villain songs as well. Let us know what you'd like us to cover next week. I'm going to put this out in the newsletter as well and on social media. Let us know, and then we can start working on that topic. And we'd love your input as well on whatever the topic ends up being.
Very cool idea, sweetie.
Thank you. I come up with them every once in a great while.
No, lots of time.
Really long time, but every once in a while I come
Lots
up
of
with
time.
it. It's an idea.
I also want to take this time and this opportunity to announce and wish you a very happy birthday this week. You're an amazing person. You're the love of my life. And I know it's a big disappointment to not be at Walt Disney World during your birthday as we had originally planned. We've done, in the last few years, we've had some really great magical moments, whether it be going to the Star Wars Days at Sea or Hamilton and, at the California Adventure or Grand Californian. And this year it kind of fell apart. And I just want you to know, I hope you have an amazing birthday, whatever I can do to help make it special, and that many, many more.
Well, thank you very much. And, just being with you. It doesn't matter where we are. Being with you on my birthday is always what makes it special. So thank you very much. And
yes. Yay. We'll celebrate.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will. Right after we get done with this podcast, we're going to start celebrating.
Early. Wow.
So,
okay.
Yeah. We appreciate that you joined us today. In the future, you can find us most everywhere you get podcasts. However, the very best place to find us is on our own website, HyperionAdventuresPodcast.com. And while you're there,
please sign up for our newsletter. We don't share your email address with anybody.
We don't. We just keep it for ourselves. It's just a way to kind of be more in the Hyperion Adventures world, to be more in the Hyperion Adventures but we love contacting and being with you in that way, as much as possible. It's just another way to connect with you.
Yes.
So words are tough for me today.
Well said.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Very well said. We also love to connect with you on social media. We have a lot of fun out on social media. Please follow us on Twitter at Hyperion Podcast, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest at Hyperion Adventures Podcast. Check out some of these episodes on YouTube, our YouTube channel. We do put most of these episodes out on YouTube. I always wonder, I start this camera going. Mm-hmm. I hope I hit record on it. It's always an experience when I come around after we're done to see if I actually recorded this. It's one of these weeks, there's going to be an episode where I'm promising it to be out there on YouTube and I forgot to hit record. And that's all right. But anyway, please find us there. If you want to see us on YouTube, just do a search for Hyperion Adventures Podcast, hit subscribe, and you'll know whenever we have a new video. And if you ever want to connect with us for any reason, including giving us an idea for the next episode that we have, our topic for next week, please hit us up at our Gmail account, HyperionAdventuresPodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, we're anxious to hear some ideas that are going to be coming out.
Yeah, cool. Just connect with you more in
true
various
too.
Different ways as well. So
very true.
Very true. That's it for this week. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Hyperion Adventures Podcast. We look forward to sharing some time with you again next week. Until that time, I'm Tom.
I'm Michelle.
And we hope that you have a magical week.
Bye.